Hey guys, it's Gary here coming from the shop. Just doing a live video this morning and having a little bit of problems with the live feed. So just bear with me a little bit and we'll let some people come on and start watching here. So I'm trying to get the camera in a good position where you can hear me and see what I've got going on here as well. And I'm just looking at my laptop to see, people coming in. So it looks like we got 32 people now. And if I could ask you guys to hit the thumbs up button, I'd appreciate it. So one of my YouTube viewers and also has friended me on Facebook, his name's Craig, has asked me to do a paint review because a shop he works at, they're thinking about getting into some paint stuff, and they've seen some of the work I've been doing and are interested in I guess the products I use and some of the techniques and things. So part of this video is going to be about that, showing a little bit of it, and part of it is going to be just kind of giving you an update on some things that have been going on here, and some of it I just shake my head. I don't know what else to say or to do about it, because just sometimes life happens, and and you just have to keep moving forward. So yeah, we got 50 people watching now. Hopefully everybody can see me good. Okay, I see Cecil's made it in on the live feed here, and he's left a couple comments trying to catch the live feed, so I'm glad he's able to join this one. And I tried to make the title of this, paint products and some bad news, but every time I made it longer, it kept giving me an error message. So I just shortened it to something I thought would get people's attention. So again, if you've joined us on the live feed, if you could go down and hit the thumbs up button, I really would appreciate it. It just helps me out and helps the video rank in YouTube and all that kind of thing. So it take you 5 seconds, if that, to hit the thumbs up button, and then so we'll kind of get going. I don't know if Craig's on here, but if he's not on, this will be available for the replay for anyone that wants to watch it. So as you see on the screen, I've got one of the flags painted, and this flag has a lot of the Eurochem products on it and some other products as well, but it has the Eurochem Clear, which is something I wanted to point out. But before I go any further on this, I want to give a shout out to Matt at Shut Your Face Garage, formerly the Slow SRT channel, and also James Freddy's, and also Pete. And there's many other guys out there as well, but I wanted to mention those three because several years ago when I joined, started making videos on YouTube, I had never painted anything, and all those guys helped me in a lot of different ways with coming up to speed on what kind of paint gun to buy, what kind of products to use, the differences in all the different kinds of primers that are available out there. And by me painting test panels on YouTube and them watching and saying, okay, you're going too fast, your pressure's too high, over time I just developed a decent technique. I'm not going to say I'm the best painter in the world, and quite honestly, painting something that's a small piece of metal art is a lot different than painting a car or even a panel on a car. It's really easy to take a small piece and get a beautiful finish on it than it is to get the same result on a large panel or a large car, because there's just a lot more surface area to cover. There's more opportunities for, mistakes and flaws to happen, to get stripes in the candy. I mean, when you're painting little bitty stripes on something like that, it's almost impossible to detect a stripe in the candy, versus a whole panel, and you get your overlap a little bit wrong, it shows up a lot more. So just in fairness to people that paint cars, or if you're watching this video, and you're interested in painting a car, this is specific to metal art, the things I'm going to cover. But some of you guys may know that the paint company I use is is called Urichem, and their website is called thecoatingstore.com. And I'll put a link in the description of that in case you're watching this on a replay. But I've got some of their color chips. They don't, for the most part, do like collision color matching on factory jobs. They specifically make colors for aftermarket paint jobs, hot rod paint jobs, you know, flakes, candies, metallics, pearls, color shifting, you know, paints, all these just interesting paint jobs that you can do if you're not trying to make, you know, match a factory color. And their prices are extremely reasonable. I mean, very, very reasonable. And it just so happened that I stumbled onto them back when we were doing the Mustang. I found an ad or a post they had on eBay, and I just made an impulse buy and bought it. And you know, the people that initially saw it were like very skeptical of it. There is no way I would spend years prepping that car and then go and put a $300 set of paint on it, which was a candy, the base candy and clear, all for $2.99. Now I think it's $3.99. They've raised their price since then. But still, even $3.99 for that entire kit is just ridiculously cheap. If you start going to your local paint store and buying PPG or, you know, some of these other things, you're going to spend $200 on a gallon of primer, you know, much less getting the whole set of products that you need for that amount. So it's thecoatingstore.com. You can go check them out. They've got, again, they've got, you know, primers, epoxy primers, high build primers. And I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not getting paid a dime for it. They have helped me out over the years. They've sent me a few free things here and there, because when we painted the Mustang, which by the way, that video has almost 1 million views on it now. When we painted the Mustang, they, you know, they get a lot of business off of that, because people are always asking, where did, you know, what's that color? Where did you get it? And so they've, you know, they've benefited from my videos. But I'm just giving a little shout out to them, you know, on this as well. So anyway, so specific to metal art, there's really kind of two processes that I follow. One of them is candy over bare metal or clear over bare metal. And you know, because I use a grinder and grind the metal with, you know, around 120 grit grinder disc on it, or the red Scotch-Brite, I kind of use both of those. It creates a pretty deep scratch in there that, because it's such a deep mechanical bond, that you can get away with not using a primer on the base, on the metal. And I just use adhesion promoter made by Bulldog, and you can buy it in a spray can, or you can get it in a gallon, and it's a 1K product, and you can spray it out of a gun, which is what I do, because you get a nicer layout. If you start with something that's out of a rattle can and then try to build up from there and put clear on top of it, the orange peel and the imperfection that gets generated from a rattle can and the base, it'll show up in your final top coat layer, and you won't get a nice smooth finish out of it. So and so far, from an adhesion point of view, I've never had any issues. And I've had to actually go back and grind off and take one of these down to bare metal, and it was on there. I mean, it wasn't like it started to flake up or peel up or anything. I mean, it really was adhered well. And you know, I've been at this for going on close to a year now, you know, probably 9 months, and not one single metal art piece I've shipped out has anybody said anything about, you know, the paint coming off or peeling or flaking or, you know, any kind of adhesion issue with it. So I think it's a good, you know, it's a good process again for metal art. You know, now you wouldn't want to do this on a car, I don't believe. At least I probably wouldn't do it. The other thing is, you know, for an opaque color that is not candy, I've experimented with that a little bit, and I found the best results are a lot of times I use a black or a white as a, you know, a color, and then pearls or other colors on top of that. So what I use is I just use epoxy primer, and I keep black, white, and gray in stock. And for things that I paint black, for the most part, I just put a black epoxy primer on there. I've had bad results if I go right over the top of it with clear, which you can do that, but that epoxy primer is dying back, you know, because I reduce it to get it to lay out nicely, and you'll see the clear sort of die back in it. But you see this flag here, and I'm going to take the camera and just kind of pan it a little bit and show you. This was painted about, I don't know, maybe about 3 weeks ago or a month ago.